Cold. It's
Oh,
it is February. It's cold. It makes me wish I was somewhere sunny like Aruba right now.
that'd be nice.
That'd be really nice. I can see myself running along the beach road, working out,
Hmm.
doing my little pull-ups and push-ups on the stuff they have on the side of the beach.
I wonder what temperature is down there in February.
Well, it's funny you should ask because I have on my little weather app right now here in the old Port Haywood. Today, 29 degrees.
Celsius.
No,
Oh, oh,
no,
that's
where I'm in Port
where you
Haywood,
are
it's
now. Got
29
it.
degrees. I'm going to read you the low and high in Aruba. Ready?
Yes.
Today, 77.81. Tomorrow, 77.82. Friday, 77.82. Saturday, oof, 78.82. Sunday, 78.82. Monday, 77.82. It's either 77, it's a high of 82 every single day and a low of between 77 and 78
That's
every day.
pretty much perfect.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, Stu, how big is yours?
What's that?
You didn't walk into that one. How big's your list? You don't have to answer. I mean, that's something people ask. I know.
Um, oh, I don't care. Well, I'll be honest with you, Jim. I get more out of social media followers than I do my email list these days.
Okay.
So, my email list is like 25,000, and social media is triple that.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Do you ever, what kind of stuff do you do to incentivize people to follow you on social media?
Um, hmm. Good question. You know what? I really don't. I just
Okay.
post cool stuff and just expect them to follow me.
Okay. I like this. This is good. I like it when we have these organic discussions.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I post cool stuff. No, we're gonna get into this. I
Yeah.
post cool stuff and hang on.
Consistently.
Okay. Ermagard. Uh, well, my controls on my camera stopped working for some reason, so we're just gonna have to go with what we got.
Okie doke.
Um, it won't let me. Well, that sucks. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with this, and if you have vertigo, it is what it is. Um, you post cool stuff, and then you expect people to just follow you.
Yes.
Define cool stuff.
Um, things that I do with fitness, swim videos, stretching, foam rolling, us working out and sunrise coming up at the same time. So it's a mix of a variety of different activities that promote a healthy lifestyle.
Okay, so some of the things that you post are how to.
Yep.
Some of the things that you post are lifestyle. Okay, the pictures that you post of showing the guys in sitting in the snow doing. What do y'all do? Like pull the somebody shows up in a truck and y'all pull the portable crap out of the back of the truck and you got those dip bars and the bench and the bar and the plates and stuff. Y'all just pull it out of the truck and roll, or do you leave it there overnight and know that
No,
the
no, no.
fat
That's
homeless people
I
don't steal
load it
it?
up in I load it up in my truck every day.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
if we
right.
use it. Some workouts don't require it, but yeah.
Okay, so that would actually make a cool video.
About about the process behind the scenes, I like
Yeah,
that.
a
I could
behind
do
the
that.
scene that would be really cool. Like you take those pictures, but you're like, hey, y'all, I take pictures of us out here working out and doing stuff. But do you ever wonder, what happens beforehand? Here's the deal. I roll up, Stu's like, hey, I roll up, and then you know, you do one of those videos where you just like pull stuff out of the truck and like and then it does those bit videos where like the dip bar's there and the bench is there and the plates are getting thrown over there and some dude's putting it together and then shows a whole bunch of guys coming, you know, 1 dude, 2 dude, 3 dude, 4 dude, 5 dude, you know, that kind of thing. That'd be a cool video.
I'll do it. That's a great idea.
So these are all things that kind of say, hey, that's somebody I'd be interested in following. And what do they all have in common? Okay, well, they all follow a theme. They're quick. What else? What else do these things have in common? There's no right answer. I mean, I'm just
related. I guess they're kind of related to what I sell.
Okay.
You know, so it's related to my store.
Okay.
You know, there's coaching involved, where if I'm going to write about coaching, I should be coaching.
Okay. And doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing what I coach. Yeah.
Okay. So none of this involves giving away a free ebook. None of this involves a 60-minute webinar. All of this is kind of it's quick, it's fast, it scratches a little itch. And if someone wants more, then they can kind of dive, no pun intended, but they can dive in as much or as little as they want to do. And you said something else that I didn't write down up here, but you said, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe consistent. What does that mean? I mean, like how consistent
every day, twice a day.
Okay. And you're posting on Instagram?
Yep.
TikTok?
Yep. YouTube.
Okay.
And Facebook gets an automatic, whatever I post on Instagram goes to Facebook.
Okay. And that's pretty much it.
And now school.
Yeah.
My school platform.
I want to say skull. But okay. How much time, energy, and effort do you put into your titles and descriptions and all that other stuff? I mean, how much are you evil scheming about what you're putting in for the, you know, the actual text and stuff?
Probably not enough.
Okay.
But it's efficient, but I think it could be better.
Okay.
You know, some days I really put a lot into it. You know, some days I just kind of do the minimum standard.
Right.
And just explain what we're doing, not maybe why we're doing it.
Okay. And all right. So if we were going to talk about your email list, why do you think your email list is not why do you think your email list is not as responsive as it used to be? Or
well, one, I only use it once a week.
Okay.
So I don't want to do it every day.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if that is a logical assumption that people don't want daily emails from me, but I know I can look at what the percentage of people that open them and say, dang, not many people are opening my emails. You know, that's why I decided a long time ago is like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to sell my newsletters instead of just sending them out for free. And I said, if you really want this content, you buy it, you buy the newsletter. So, and that's why I kind of formed a membership program around it. But I still send emails to everybody, but there's a group within that group that pays for specific emails.
Okay.
Workouts of the week, articles of the week, videos of the week that they don't have to go hunt and peck. They're all right there in one spot.
Right. So you do like a weekly digest
Yeah.
newsletter thing that people pay what, like $100 a year, 200, 300? How much they pay?
30 a month.
Oh, $30 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, so the original thing that we were going to talk about today was what's working to get people to opt in. But I think, and we're going to talk about that. But I think it's important to understand that when we're trying to get somebody to opt in, what we're really doing is asking them to pay attention.
Hmm.
And so it's important to understand what makes people pay attention. Why are people paying attention? And I think there's been a fundamental shift in that, and also just in general of what's valuable and what's not anymore. And so if we take a little trip down memory lane, right? And if you think about, when the internet really became the internet was what, 1995?
Yeah.
So let's say from 1995 to 2000, 2000 to 2005, 2005 to 2010. And that might be a little bit too granular, but that's okay. Okay. So from 95 to 2000, you could pretty much literally have on your website, hey, join my newsletter, and you would build a list. And the
Right.
fact that you would send out stuff, you were basically could just make it on sending out info. All right. You really could.
Yep.
You could just send it out, people would pay attention, and there you go. So 2000, 2005, I kind of call that my awakening in the world of copywriting and making offers. You had to do better than, info. It was more kind of like the age of why. Why should I pay attention to you? Why should I get your info? Then from 2005, 2010, this is where a lot of people, pretty much everybody got high speed internet during that time. And
Yep.
so the big thing, what happened between 2005 and 2010 was really the age of video. You really think about before 2005, yes, we were doing some video. It was mostly screen capture video. It was really hard to do a video. You had to create an FLV file that then would be played inside of I can't even remember what the hell it was some kind of a flash file. And it was so you could have people pay attention to you if you did a video, but now it's everybody and their brother could do video. So 2015, and then also this is when social media started to show up. But now 2015, 2020, that's really when all the social media really took off for everybody. And now 2020, 2025 is when AI showed up. So if you look at here, this is where data, info, stuff, just give me more so I don't have to go find out, and I'm probably interested in it.
Yeah.
Now, data does not equal value. It doesn't. It's not worth shit. Okay. If you want to know something, it's easier than getting somebody's free report or doing somebody's thing. It's easier just to go to one of, you can go to Grok, you can go to Gemini, you can go to Claude, you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Genie Chat, you can do anything and get all the data you could ever want. So, whereas here we were kind of in the info age stuff, now we're really in the results. But the problem is that when a lot of us think of results, what's the result somebody wants with what you're doing? Well, I want to swim better, run better, be faster, lose weight, all that stuff to some degree.
Yeah.
Also, the result they want is to be entertained. Also, the result they want is to have their beliefs reinforced. There's all kinds of stuff going on when we think of results. Again, because if you think, hey, I want to be able to do more pull-ups, I want to be able to do more push-ups. Well, you know what? I can go to ChatGPT and plus or minus, it can tell me plus or minus what Stu would tell me if Stu didn't know me, if Stu wasn't talking to me, if Stu didn't know my exact situation. It would talk about greasing the groove. It would talk about, I mean, all these other things that you could do. So again, is getting the result that somebody wants. I'm not trying to talk in circular logic.
Yeah.
But what is the result that somebody wants? Somebody wants confidence. They want assurance or reassurance. They want to have their beliefs reinforced. And so we need to start thinking about other types of results that somebody wants in order to get them to pay attention. This is kind of getting out there, or maybe I need another cup of coffee or something, or maybe I need less coffee. But I mean, just what are your thoughts? Are you like, what the hell are you even talking about, Jim?
No, I love this because you know, I often think about it not just as a you know, for my business, but for how business and investing is evolving, right? You know, whether it's time or money, what you're investing and how that's evolving right in front of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you laid it out there, and every one of these builds on each other, you know, for the last 20, 30 years, um, to getting results.
Right.
I mean, I mean, yeah, you could get results in 2020, but you know, in 2010, but you know, I think you're right. You know, data is useless, information is king. But it takes
Why do you
effort
say
to turn.
information? Why do you say information is king?
Well, because
Information's everywhere.
it, well, but data by itself is just it's not useful information.
Right.
If that's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
You know, you have to apply it in certain ways to make it actually useful. And that's where you get your results, you
Right.
know, from your experiences, your knowledge, your understanding of the topic. You know, you can now look at the data and turn it into useful information for people to digest better.
Right. And I think this is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But there's a pyramid of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the bottom is data. Data is just, you know, and I hate to use the word facts because then I start getting it, you know, what is a fact? You know, the earth is round. Yep, that's a fact. If you're a flat earther, you're an idiot. Okay, you're just stupid. All right, you're a moron if you're a flat earther. Okay. You know, now data is up for interpretation. If you say, is the earth wobbling? Is it slowing down? Is it getting warmer? Why is it getting warmer? All these things. Now there's data, but data can support pretty much any kind of an idea if you want to spin it to a human being. Okay.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4, even if you're an idiot and use a box and have new math, as opposed when we were kids, it's like, you know, what's 2 + 2? 4. Okay, well, you don't need to draw a picture, little Timmy. It's freaking 4. All right. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
deuces, babe.
Yeah.
Information is kind of the next level up of data. That's where there's some kind of judgment attached to the data. Information and ideas kind of go hand in hand. I take in the data and I start to interpret it. So then the next level up of that is knowledge. What is knowledge? Well, I know some stuff because this is where experience starts coming in. All right. Based on my experience, I can look at this data, this information, and I can make a judge. This is where also judgment comes in. I can make a judgment call on what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean now? What does this mean in the future? Now with know-how is when you just have lots of experience with something where you can pretty much know on autopilot whether, and this is where you get into heuristics and stuff like that, but you just, I can look at something and know how to fix it. I can look at something and just know what's broken. What I know what somebody needs to do. You know, they come to you and they say, "Hey, Stu, when I'm doing my pull-ups, it hurts here, and you know, I got this right here, and and you're like, oh, okay. Well, you're not fully extending down. You're keeping too much tension in your elbow, which is causing basically tennis elbow. So what you need to do is take a break for like 3 or 4 days." And do this instead, and then practice doing full range of motion. And it's like you just know. That's know-how. It's kind of like your mom goes in the kitchen. Mom's going to make her special meatballs and stuff. She don't have a recipe because it's up here. She can taste it and be like, it needs this and this and like 7 things go in because she puts one little dab on her tongue. That's know-how.
That's a great analogy.
And then
of what AI isn't.
Well, AI can't. And I heard a really cool thing yesterday about AI that I'll share with you in just a second.
Yeah.
And then wisdom is when you know what you don't know and you're willing to acknowledge it. In other words, wisdom is when ego is out.
Yeah.
And this is when you get the guy, it's like, you know, I know, but I want to think about it a little bit because there's so many things that could be at play here. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of judgment. So where judgment starts coming in down here, up here, judgment starts to go away because you realize that there's so much that you don't know. You need to ask a lot more questions. What does this have to do with getting people to opt in? Well, here's the deal. This is where AI lives. Okay? This is where AI lives. Now, it can give you the data and the information in such a way that you think it has knowledge, but it doesn't. It can't. And this is the part where I heard something really kind of cool. AI basically gives you the average of all the answers it could give you.
Yeah.
So AI is just the new average.
Whew.
Think about that. That's really deep thought.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that's all AI can do is just give you the average of all the stuff it's read, whatever the large language model is. It can give you the average of everything it's read to give you an answer, to give you the information based on the data. It has no knowledge because knowledge requires experience and judgment.
Yeah.
And it can have neither. And even with artificial general intelligence, it can't, because this is where the soul is. Again, it can simulate it. And again, we talk about heuristics and things like that, where these are automated programs that run in your own brain to just keep you from overloading your circuits. So is that the equivalent of AI? Probably. I mean, it can react. But AI can never have experience and judgment. It can't. So if we want to create value that makes somebody pay attention to us, and then you know what goes up here? Art. That's what goes at the very top.
Make it an art, not a science.
Well, just art. This is where art is. Art can't be anywhere else but up here above wisdom. Now, maybe that's the little romantic in me.
Interesting.
But your soul is what's up here.
Yeah.
AI is down here. All right. So what's the stuff that's going to make people pay attention to you? Your know-how,
Yeah.
your experience, your judgment, your wisdom, the questions you know that people should be asking. It's this is why people will pay attention to you. This is not why people will pay attention to you. So if you're going to go out there and say, "Hey, you're going to get some people, you're going to get some people who are like so clueless that they just don't understand what the hell's going on." And I'm not saying you don't do anything in this area, because you do have to make sure that people's bases are covered. But honest to God, this is more the stuff you would do after you've grabbed them. Like, great example, the way I met Stu. How I met Stu. That sounds like a movie. I was looking to get better at pull-ups, and I was doing rucking, and I found Stu through one of the Go Ruck groups, where a guy was talking about how this Navy SEAL dude helped him get ready for doing a Go Ruck Heavy, which is that's a 24 or a 40. It's a 48-hour one.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was the harder one. And so I looked him up, and then I saw he had a pull-up thing, and then I found his site, and I saw he did coaching, and I'm like, screw it, I'm just going to sign up. And then I like started stalking him within 10 minutes. But I could see you had the wisdom and the know-how. I could find the information anywhere. But the reason why I wanted to be a part of your universe is because I knew you had to have the knowledge, okay, because you were a Navy SEAL. You had to have the know-how because all these dudes were talking about you and all that stuff. And I knew you had to have the wisdom because you'd been doing it for so long and nobody was talking shit about you, except that one dude who didn't know how to read.
And the art is my choreography of exercises that you love so much.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it. I mean, your modern dance, you finally got your modern dance video done. I was proud of you for that. So, yes, you can get a certain number of subscribers or people to pay attention to you because you come out with a checklist of this. Okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But what I'm saying is this is the stuff that people will pay attention to. And again, what does SOUL stand for? Stories, observations, unique perspective, lessons learned. Okay, the stuff that only you can do. That's where the soul is here. And then, like, you talk about art, dude, you post art every day. When you take those pictures and you're like,
Yep.
hey, I think this is cool looking. I think this is neat. And that's, so no, it's not your dance moves, Stu. Sorry, but it's the pictures of you dancing that are artful.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I'm going to throw this off on you because I need to think on it for a second. But if you were going to create a lead magnet that didn't live here, but lived here, no right or wrong answer, but I mean, what would you do?
That was what I was going to ask you. What would that look like, Jim?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is at this point, I'm up here. I know the questions to ask, but I got to think about this.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 5 tips to be better at pull-ups. I can get that from ChatGPT. Okay. So the answer to this is not easy until it is. We're having to retrain the way we're thinking.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And that's why I like your historical view of what has happened in the last 30 years, because it shows if you don't evolve, you're stuck. I mean, your business will be stuck.
Well, it's just not going to grow.
Unless you're like WD-40, right? WD-40 is a one product company. And they just
with no patent.
WD-40. That's all they make.
Yeah. You know the story behind that, right?
Oh yeah. It's a great story.
It's an awesome story.
97% of households has WD-40 in it.
Right, but you know how WD-40 was created, right? Why it was created?
No. What?
So
What do you hear?
WD-40 was created because I don't remember, was it the Patriot? Anyway, whatever the Mercury rocket was, whatever the missile equivalent of that was, whether that was the Minuteman or whatever, they had a problem with the exterior of it was rusting. And they needed a coating to put on it that wouldn't massively increase the weight, but it would stop the exterior of the missile body from rusting. And so WD stands for water displacement.
Huh.
And WD-40, water displacement 40, it was the 40th thing that they tried to develop.
Damn.
So the reason why it's never been patented was because it was a top secret thing, because it was used to put on the missiles. And then once it wasn't a top secret thing anymore, you like how there's all kinds of terms. It's not top secret anymore, so we want to sell it. But if we patent it, we have to reveal what's in the formula.
Damn.
But if we don't patent it, we never have to tell anybody what's in it in the exact amounts and stuff, so that they could, because when a patent runs out, it happened to Glock, patent runs out, everybody's doing, Glock clones now.
Yeah.
So that's how WD-40 was made, why it was made, and why it is the way it is. And so you can't, it's never been patented, but nobody's been able to copy it.
Dang.
So cool story.
Yeah.
This is what happens when a computer geek also has a degree in history. But this is fun.
Yeah.
Think about it. We'll talk about this again, because I'm going to be, hopefully sometime in the not too distant future, sitting on a beach cogitating on this.
Good. Yeah. My whole WD reference was all about, like, unless you're a WD-40, you don't need to worry about evolving with technology.
Right.
But all other businesses should, especially in this information age.
1 in a billion, and that probably ain't you. As far as being able to do that. So we got to figure out how we can do that until we don't have to do it anymore.
Yes.
Have you ever sat around and wished that you had bought like 1,000 Bitcoin when they were $10 a pop?
Oh, countless times.
Yeah, me too.
Or sell an Apple in 1999.
Yeah.
I was just like, come on.
Yeah. I had a whole crap ton of Apple at $50 a share and sold it when it was at 70, thinking I was a big pimp.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, I think that's good. Stu, if they want to get in shape, where should they go? We didn't do any demos today.
Stu Smith Fitness. That's okay. We can make it up in the next show.
There you go. Next time, you want a cool tool, make some cool stuff, go to copyandcontent.ai. Everybody have a great job, great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.